they can eat watermelons whole.
Oh, yeah.
It's just they just dump a watermelon in your mouth and they just chew it all in just one bite. It's truly incredible.
So imagine what they can do to people.
Here's a verdant catacombs.
Not good.
A noble hierarch off of that. We'll see what land Logan wants to search up. I think they'd be a little more forgiving with people, but I'm probably wrong.
No.
Yeah.
You are wrong. They are not.
A celestial colonnade is how Sukenik will start things. Our time is accurate. We've got a little over 15 minutes here for game number 2. As Sukenik won game number 1. Logan's going to have to really pick up the pace here.
And Jonathan Sukenik's 4-color control deck is a real sampler of the control cards available to you in the format. With things like, there's a Logic Knot, a Gideon Jura, 2 copies of Remand, a Supreme Verdict. Sure.
Realistically, what this deck is a Jeskai control deck that happens to have a small black splash for the flashback on Lingering Souls, for the flashback on Mystical Teachings, has access to a card like Crackling Doom in his sideboard, which I'm sure no one will see coming.
The sampler.
Yeah, indeed. You saw Mize attack for 1 with a Noble Hierarch last turn, thinks that Exalted Trigger, Spellskite was the play. After that, now we'll see Mize search with a Verdant Catacombs. There's a Godless Shrine, so we'll be taking 3.
Surprising we've seen so little Absent Company. That deck was the talk for a little while.
Yep. Here's a Murderous Redcap.
Bang.
Let's see if this resolves.
A little bit of offense, a little bit of defense.
I gotta shore up your holes.
Yeah.
Play both sides of the ball.
Yeah, Spellskite plus Murderous Redcap is a pretty good 1-2 combo.
Yeah.
Good at blocking. Good at attack, good-ish at attacking.
Redirect the damage from the Murderous Redcap to the Spellskite.
Right. You only want to attack with one of the creatures anyway, so Noble Hierarch fits in very nicely here.
Actually, you saw Spellskite get in with the Exalted Trigger. Logan Mize making things look easy so far. Sukenik searched up a Steam Vents with that Flooded Strand. Now he'll draw a card, picked up a copy of Negate. You can see the Baneslayer Angel in his hand. Also has a copy of Glacial Fortress. Looks like Fortress will be land number 3, potentially. Also has a copy of Polluted Delta and Arid Mesa in hand. Pretty fetch land heavy mana base here for Sukenik. There's Arid Mesa. He'll pass it back. Mize will draw. Looks like he picked up a copy of Kitchen Finks.
And that splits the difference between offense and defense. That's a little bit of both.
Yep. Time to attack. Redcap with a Exalted Trigger. He attacked for 3. Sukenik's down at 12. There's a Plains. And now here's a Finks. That's going to get mana leaked. Mize with a copy of Malira in hand. And I believe an Eternal Witness as well.
And in a weird way, that mana leak is pretty good for Logan. Because, 1, it means that Jonathan's probably not setting up for a sweeper this turn, which is something Logan's probably a little nervous about. And the other thing is now there's something to do with the Eternal Witness. Because before there were just those Verdant Catacombs, and Logan's already got plenty of mana to work with.
See what Sukenik wants to do on this turn of the game. Land's not an issue at this point. Life total's starting to become 1, as he is at 11 right now. There's a Scalding Tarn. That'll put him at a virtual 10 as he passes the turn back. Mize will draw. Radcat coming to come across for 3 yet again, thanks to Noble Hierarch's Exalted Trigger. Sukenik down to 8. Looks like he's trying to use his life total as a resource. Logan, oddly enough, has a combo rolled up here with Viscera Seer and Malira in hand. So he's going to try to resolve the Seer. That's in. Will he try to resolve Malira? Yes. Do you have it? That's the question, Mr. Sukenik.
And I don't mind putting him to the test here because this probably gets worse for Logan as things go on.
Yeah. And the great thing about this is that Logan doesn't actually have to move.
He can just
and try to
go
for it. Yeah, because he can. I have 5 power creatures on the table. And then if you pull the trigger on a Path to Exile or anything, then I'll try to combo you. Also, he's a Spell Sky for protection. So Sukenik's going to sacrifice Scalding Tarn and go down to 7. But I like Logan not trying to combo off here and deal infinite points of damage with this trio of creatures. He can just play a normal game of Magic. Now, it looks like he is going to make a move here. Yep, and Sukenik will die. But I like that Logan didn't initiate the action.
Yep.
He simply waited until it was right to maybe make the move.
So, to go over the combo with you right there, for those of you who have not seen this deck in action before, with Viscera, you can sacrifice a creature anytime. You can scry 1, but that's incidental in all of this. You have a Murderous Red Cap that says when it comes into play, you get to deal its power to something. So normally that only comes back the one time you shoot something for 1. But with Malir in play, it says these creatures you control don't get -1/-1 counters. So the persist on the Murderous Red Cap never happens. You sacrifice it, it comes back into play as a 2/2, rinse and repeat. You deal 2 damage to the opponent every single time.
Infinite combo.
With Kitchen Finks, you gain infinite life.
Yep. Pretty simple stuff as these players will sideboard here for game number 3. They've got under 10 minutes. They're going to have to get moving. You see, Sukenik already has a draw in this tournament, so his control deck can be pretty slow in plotting at times.
And Jonathan plays islands in almost every competitive format. So not surprising for him to have a draw. He is a reasonably fast player, but the decks he plays are always on the slower end of the spectrum.
Very quickly, while these players shuffle up, we will talk about the changes to the StarCityGames.com buy list, something I know that you are very familiar with.
Yeah, you can head over right now, StarCityGames.com/buy list, though you do need to be registered for the website to check it out. It's a much more efficient process than before. You can punch in the card, and you can modify for condition, foil, language, what have you. We'll give you the buy list price for it. You can then mail all of your cards to Star City Games and expedite the process because the list is already set up. If you come to one of our events with your buy list already printed out, the dealer can move through it much faster than sitting there and having them count, price out everything. Again, StarCityGames.com/buy list. You need to be registered for the website, but that is free to do, and it is a significantly improved experience.
Game number 3 here between Jonathan Sukenik, Logan Mize is going to be underway in just a moment. 4-color control versus Abzan Company. See if these players can actually finish this one out. So it looks like they're going to be starting with about 8 minutes left to go. Mize making things look a little bit easier in the last game. If the game does go long, you have to imagine it does favor Sukenik, and he'll start things off with a Celestial Colony. Mize with at least a Spell Sky in hand. Looks like he's going to start off with a Windswept Heath. Sacrifice that. Maybe an Overgrown Tomb. Could be a Goblet Shrine. Looks like he wants to be casting a Viscerous here to start things off.
It's beatdown time.
This is beatdown time for you. A 1/1.
Greater than 0.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Sukenik with a couple of lands here. Flooded Strand among them. Looks like he will go with the blue-white fetch land. Pass that turn back over to Mize. And will start by attacking for 1.
Jonathan Sukenik's lands are super complicated because not all of his fetch lands get all of his duels. He's got a Blood Crypt in his deck, so his sequencing is very challenging.
Here's a Spell Sky. It's defense time now.
Yeah.
We were on offense.
We've already got the clock. Yeah. Now we just need to protect it.
Yep. Flooded Strand will be sacrificed. There's a Mana Leak, the textless variety. Searching up Steam Vents. So red, blue, and white mana out there, just looking for the black. Flooded Strand, the draw yet again here for Sukenik. Another copy of Colonnade in hand as well. Definitely a little land heavy. There's a Hallowed Fountain, a Glacial Fortress over there too. We'll pass the turn back over to Mize. Mize will draw.
Gideon Juror in Sukenik's hand, which is a fine thing to play for if Logan's just trying to attack, but extremely risky if Logan's setting up the combo.
Yep. Flooded Strand. Sacrifice that. We'll see how much Mize wants to take. He's going to at least 16, could be 14. If he searches for one of those Ravnica Shock lands.
Basically a freebie to get dual lands against Jonathan's deck. Light total, not much of a concern here. And Jonathan's deck doesn't look like the Blood Moon type to me, so.
See, that's where they get you.
Yeah.
You don't think they have Blood Moon, then kablow.
Just confirming here. Gonna take a look, real quick look.
I hope he has 2.
No, he's got, it looks like 0.
There are no blood winners. Here's an Eternal Witness. See if this results for Mize. It will. He needs another land, so he'll get back in Windswept Heath, pass that turn back. The original Den Protector.
Mm-hmm.
Only from a cool 11 years ago.
Yeah, that seems hard to believe.
I know.
Also, I think at the time, more valuable than any rare in that set.
From 5th Dawn?
Yeah.
I would not be surprised, actually.
It was a little light on power. It was Vidalcan Shackles and Engineered Explosives. But Eternal Witness was the first $10 uncommon I really remember.
That was the card.
I guess Force of Will was really expensive too in its time. But Eternal Witness in modern times was the first very expensive uncommon.
Both these players are going to sacrifice some fetch lands. Mize will sacrifice Windswept Heath. Sukenik a Flooded Strand. By search of a basic plains, Sukenik will get a Steam Fence. That'll enter the battlefield tapped. Sukenik's life total, he's at 11. Mize is at 13, so Mize currently with the lead. We head back Sukenik's way. That 4th mana, just passing the turn, that's a little weird. No way he could have a Collected Company. There's a Hallowed Fountain. Here's Collected Company. Is there a counterspell? Oh!
Yeah, sure.
The old Logic Knot. Don't see that one very often.
Your first Del spell is pretty much free.
It's true. That's an attack for 3. Sukenik is down to 8. Just getting chipped away right now. Tide Hollow Sculler. Let's see what's up.
That card's really bad news for John.
And John does have an answer to it in Path to Exile. Gideon's the other card in hand. Ghost Quarter and Glacial Fortress are the lands. Let's see what Mize wants to take here.
And I think that Logan has Gavany Township in hand, so he doesn't really care that much about Gideon Jura. That's just a 1-turn reprieve.
He's going to take Gideon. There's the Township. Let's see what the follow-up is. Kitchen Finks. Yeah, so path away if you'd like. Mize's last 2 cards are a Spellskite and a Collected Company. Pretty good hand here for Logan.
Yep. And Jonathan just really hasn't done much of anything.
Yeah.
It's not like Logan's clock was particularly fast here.
Path to Exile is going to resolve. I think Logan considering in that situation if he wanted to sacrifice the Sculler to the Viscera Seer, but decided he'd rather have a land instead.
With Gavany Township in play makes a lot of sense. Mana's at a premium now.
So Sukenik with 3 cards upside down in his hand. That's something he does when his opponent sees his hand. We saw that in his last match we watched him when he was getting hit by Gataxian Probes from Aaron Barich. He'll turn 3 cards upside down that his opponent has seen, and then the 1 card that's right side up is the one he knows his opponent does not know about. In this instance, that's Spell Snare.
So Jonathan can still go for Gideon Jura here because he has a Ghost Quarter to answer the Gavany Township, but that's still not a long-term answer to this. We're looking at a couple turn bumper.
And his land that he played this turn was a Glacial Fortress, so didn't even play the Ghost Quarter. It looks like he's going to deploy Gideon and going to use that to kill Viscera Seer. Viscera Seer will get sacrificed so that it can scry. Mize deciding where he wants to put that card after consulting his hand. Again, Spellskite and Collected Company. Gonna leave that there. He'll draw that card. It's a copy of Melira. He'll finish off Gideon. The follow-up is Melira. That's gonna get Spell Snared. Now Mize can cast Collected Company right now if he'd like, and he will. So take a look at the top 6 cards. Gonna try to put 2 of them on the battlefield. Just 1 in Kitchen Finks. He'll gain 2 life. Sukenik gonna rub those hands together, hope for a good top deck.
I mean, something like Hallowed Burial, if it's floating around in his list somewhere.
Electrolyze was the draw, and it's not horrible, but it's not great either.
Remember, he still has the Ghost Quarter for the Gavany Township, so If he can answer the board, he is back in it, still in trouble, but for as bad as this game has been going so far, there's at least some sign of hope.
And it has not been going great. Looks like he's going to start with Electrolyze. The decision is what to target. Looks like he's going to go over Kitchen Finks. That'll persist him back. Sukenik will draw a card, of course. Get the copy of Scalding Tarn. Ghost Quarter's going to come in, take care of the Township, as he should. Mize will get the search if he has a basic, as it is turn 0 right now. So Mize will have turns 1, 3, and 5. Sukenik 0, 2, and 4. Unlikely Sukenik can win the game, given that he has turns 2 and 4 left. And he's this control deck that's very slow and plotting. His Gideon's gone. He's got Colonnades, Snapcaster Mages, and the one single Restoration Angel to try to win with. Here's a big attack. That's going to do it. A Township was top decked there by Mize. That'll take care of things for Mr. Logan Mize, who wins this match over Jonathan Sukenik. 2-1. Abzan Company will take care of 4-color control, and for the player who played in the Players' Championship last year, he's 10-2, well on his way to another top 8 here in Columbus.
Yeah, for Jonathan Sukenik, the run ends here won't be making the top 8. Logan an opportunity to top 8 the second invitational.